Hi, this is Judy at Judy in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to cook a couple of fresh pumpkins. Here they are, and as you can see, they're not huge, from the size of my hands, okay? They're about the size of my hands, however much that is. When I buy a pumpkin, I buy it deliberately for the purpose of eating it. I'm not big in decorating with the pumpkins, although they do look nice out there. I look at them as being food, and so I want to cook them. So the first thing I need to do is cut them up, which is not an easy task, which is why I'm wearing this apron. But the first thing I'm going to do is attempt to cut it across this way, and then I'm going to scoop the seeds out of them. And yes, the seeds are edible. I'm debating about whether or not I want to mess with them. I might. So, really pretty cool. Really pretty cool the way they are. Just to show you the process on this, you just take a spoon and you scrape them out. You have to kind of dig a little bit to get these strands out of there. And then the seeds are kind of embedded in these strands. And the most work involved in this is really this part, cutting it up and getting the seeds out of it. And now you see what I'm going through here. When I'm done, I'm just going to cut this into chunks and put them on a baking sheet. And rather than tying up your time watching me do all this, now that you just see the basic process, I'm going to get back with you when I've got both of these cut up. Okay, my pumpkins are cut up. I've got them all on one baking sheet with some parchment paper on the bottom. I have to say, and this was comical, that smaller pumpkin was absolutely the hardest pumpkin I've ever had to cut up in my entire life. Maybe it was picked a little too green, I don't know. But so I left that one in bigger chunks because I just could not get my knife through it and cut it up any better. You would have laughed at me trying to cut it up. It was really pretty good. Anyway, I have quite a good sized bowl here of seeds, and I think I'm going to just cover them up, put them in the refrigerator and just to hold them in the meantime. And I think I will roast them, and that'll be another video there. But anyway, I've got my chunks just kind of put together. I've got the oven preheated to 400 degrees. I'm going to put these on a rack in the middle of the oven. And when they are fork tender, I'll take them out to cool down, and then I'll show you how we remove the pulp from there. These two pieces, well actually these four pieces from that smallest pumpkin may take longer to bake because it was the hardest pumpkin I've ever tried to cut in my entire life. So it may not bake upright. I don't know. We'll find out, and I'll let you know how long this takes and whether or not this one actually cooks. My pumpkin is all roasted. Even this pumpkin that was so hard to cut has roasted up, and you can see they are fork tender. So I'm going to show you how I just remove the pulp from these. I'm not going to take your time to show you all of this, but all I do is really very simple. I just take a spoon and just scrape it off. Some people will actually remove the skin from the pumpkin. I prefer to remove the pulp from the pumpkin. To me, it's just an easier thing to do, and you just scrape it out. It's really not hard, especially when it's cooked all the way. And you can see this is ready to go. Pumpkin like this can be stored. You can, some people will grind this up in a food processor and dehydrate it on fruit leather sheets, and then break up the crunchy bits and seal them up in mason jars and store them that way. It can be frozen just like it is, or pureed first. You can even puree it and then can it if you want, or just go right ahead and use it. And pumpkin like this can be used any way that you would use canned pumpkin. You can use it to make pies, pumpkin bread, mashed pumpkin and flavored that way, any way you want. You can make cookies with it, pumpkin soup, pumpkin smoothies, basically any way that you would use pumpkin. And when it's roasted like this, the flavor is more concentrated. It's not as watery as if you cooked it on the stove and boiled it, which you can do. But I just like it this way because the flavor is a little bit better, a little less watery. And then if you make a pie with it, you will not have something that's overly watery. It's going to be more concentrated that way. I wanted you to see how much pumpkin I got out of this. Now that is a lot of pumpkin out of those 2 small squashes. That is a lot of pumpkin. So that's going to take me a long way. So it's good for you to realize how much meat you really do get out of even small pumpkins. So the next time you have a fresh pumpkin on hand that you've used for decoration or allowed the kids to carve or whatever, don't throw it away if it's still good. Cook it and use it like you would any pumpkin. It's delicious, it's easy to cook. The hardest part is just cutting it up, especially if you have one like I did. That one was really hard, but usually they're not that bad. Anyway, this is Judi at Judi in the Kitchen. I hope this helps. Have a great day.